Thank you guys for joining me on episode 9 of Paperless Parts Power Lunch series, designed to give you bite-sized demos on various value drivers of the platform. My name is Estephen Saliba. I am the East Coast sales team lead here at Paperless Parts, and today we're going to talk about dynamic pricing and how that can help you guys maximize profit margins and critical resources. So what are we going to talk about today? 3 things. 1, costing versus pricing, right? Cost is how much it costs you guys to make something. Pricing is how much value you can provide your customer. Very distinct and very important things that we at Paperless Parts really focus on. So we're going to talk about how we can help you reduce risk by easily understanding if you're getting the true value for the service you're providing. Expedited options. How can you grow additional revenue streams by offering flexible lead times and customizable options for your customers, whether or not they ask you for it? And then lastly, dynamic pricing, right? How can you take advantage of offensive or defensive pricing strategies through discounts, add-ons, and rule-specific markups? This is one feature that has recently been rolled out for here at Paperless Parts. So some of our customers on the line, this may be something that's new to you, right? I know we got a mix of customers as well as potential customers. I want to make sure that this is relevant for everybody here. And my goal today is to give you guys actionable items, actionable nuggets, maybe 1 or 2 things that you can take back to your shop. And so with that, this is your guys' time. Please reach out. I have some questions here to keep the audience engaged. Hopefully you brought your lunch and you can eat while answering sort of these prompts, but I want to make sure it's relevant for you. So again, if you have any questions, please reach out through the Q&A chat. And we'll save some time at the end to go through each and every one of them. Awesome. So let's get right into it. So again, Paperless Parts, we're not going to go through the entire platform. All we're going to go through today is pricing. So as you look at this, I have a quote ready. It's already been worked through. I have my process assigned, 5-axis milled part. I have operations, a series of templates with costing rules. If you are interested in any of this, I welcome you to check out the demo, reach out to paperlessparts.com support, but we're not going to spend a lot of time through there today. What we're going to do is talk specifically around how can we understand price, right? How can we understand the value you're getting out of this part? What a lot of what we do here is helping you quickly understand what this part is and how much this part costs, and what potential risks or drivers can we automatically identify while you're quoting through this. One of the things that's really hard to do today outside of Paperless Parts is understand a quick summary of this platform here, of this part. What's the breakout of raw material versus inside processing versus OSV costs versus purchase components on an assembly? A lot of times this is various clicks through an ERP system. And our goal here is to give you a quick idea of what this part is and how much this part costs and what's driving that. So for example, you can quickly see here, I have a certain breakout of raw material, and I actually like looking at this from a percentage standpoint. So I can see that for one quantity break, 2%, 2.5% of the total cost is material. Is that a lot? Is that not a lot? These are rules that we can set up with you guys to be able to say, hey, if raw material cost is over 30%, maybe that's a red flag for you guys. Maybe that's something you want to really dig into. So again, guardrails and rules help you quickly understand what's going on. What you can also do with that is assign some really cool and really interesting price drivers with Paperless Parts. So we hear a lot of different things from a lot of different shops. A lot of our customers are really think about pricing creatively. Offensively or defensively. And what I say by that is offensively, I want to win this job. Defensively is I actually don't want to win a certain type of job. And I'm sure everyone on this call has seen this before. You get a package of 40 parts and 5 of them are dogs. 5 of them are quotes you certainly do not want to quote or win. So how can you defend yourself against that? Maybe it's I have to quote every single RFQ that comes in, and maybe I want to offload that to a junior estimator. How can we set defensive rules to make sure that no one misses anything and I take on a part that I lose money on, right? So some of the things we'll talk through in detail, but at a very high level, material markup, right? We hear that in ERP, throw 20% on material. What I've seen a lot of shops do as well, though, is maybe there's a certain type of material that you guys do that no one else does. Maybe you have specific rules for that type of material. If material equals Inconel, maybe it's 40% markup instead of 20%, right? You can see here, this is a 6061 part in this demo environment. I'm pulling 20%. Again, this is a rule that I set up in the platform, and this can allow you guys to not worry about if it's Inconel, we're still going to charge 20%, right? Internal operations. This looks at all the inside, the labor costs, the burden rates, et cetera, and throws a standard rate on top of that. I'm sure that's what a lot of folks are doing today. Outside vendor markups. This could also be driven by the type of finish it is, the type of outside service it is. Maybe if this is a machined outsourced part or a sheet metal outsourced part, we're throwing a different percentage on that. Again, this can be dynamically updated based on what you guys are seeing, based on what parameters are in the platform. One of the cool things down below, this is where we're getting to, pricing 102, is customer-specific markups. I'm sure we've all run into those situations where customer, I'm picking on Boeing today. Boeing is a pain, right? They kind of put you through the ringer. Maybe in general, aerospace work is a little bit more complex. There's a lot of extra costs that go into maintaining that type of work. You want to add an extra cushion on that type of work, right? You're going to quote an aerospace company maybe a little bit differently than you're going to quote a purchase component company. You can even take it a step further, and maybe there's particular buyers or customers that you just charge more for because they care about different things. You can set up these rules, and as we dig into this, you can see it's pulling a master markup percentage. Think of this as a table outside of this build a quote screen that it's referencing. So if customer equals Boeing, add 15%. If customer equals General Dynamics, add 20%, right? These are all things we can set up. And again, without any clicks, it's referencing that data and automatically adjusting pricing as necessary. Quantity-based markups. We hear this a lot, and this obviously varies by different shop. You can have maybe you want to win that 100 quantity part. You don't really want to win that one piece RFQ. So you can set up rules where if quantity equals 1 to 5, maybe there's a 30% markup. But as you continue going down, it automatically adjusts 20, 15%. You're steering the buyer towards that 15%, right? And then maybe complexity factor. Obviously, if it's a really complex part, we want to be able to add a little bit more work on that, maybe add a little bit more margin. So one of the things you can do as well is as you scroll up, this is a level 3 part. We can talk a little bit later if you have questions on that as how we're assigning those, but those are custom to your guys' shop. So level 3 part is something that is really down the middle for you guys. Maybe a level 5 part is something that's really complex. And if it equals level 5, we add an extra 10, 15, 20%. There's also one other thing that I see a lot of is capacity markup. And this is where you can get pretty creative around this. This is a pricing item that looks at, and it's not automatic, but this is something that's updated by management, maybe every day, every week, where you're looking at your backlog, you're looking at your capacity for example, your 5-axis work center, and saying, okay, I'm really swamped on this. I actually want to increase my price to lower my win rate. And why would you want to do that? That obviously impacts the amount of work that's coming in. And so some of our customers are looking at this daily, weekly, throwing a percentage at a high level that has nothing to do with the cost, has nothing to do with estimating or sales. And so sales would come in and say, all right, there's nothing I can do about this. I have to throw an extra 5% because we're really slammed. So again, it's just one way to update pricing across different Excel, the Excel spreadsheets without paperless parts, or throughout different estimators, sales folks. Everyone's referencing the same data, and you're updating it in one spot for all future quotes. So that's sort of costing versus pricing, right? What you can do in paperless parts. Let's talk about what this quote looks like when you're sending it out. And let's talk about everyone's favorite topic here is expedites different lead times, right? Dynamic lead times. So one of the things, Ali, if you want to start throwing this Q&A on there, I'm curious from everyone's perspective. I can say that, a lot of different customers offer different lead times, but we can sort of look at what you guys think, right? And what you guys do. So the poll question, answer it when you can. We'll come back to that. We'll see if I'm completely off base or not. But the question is, how often do you proactively update pricing options based on different lead times? And so what we're seeing with this Amazon effect, everyone it wants something yesterday, and sometimes they don't even ask you for it. They're just assuming. And the hardest part about estimating is, what does your buyer want, right? Do they value lead time? Do they value cost? With Paperless Parts, you can offer both options by dynamic lead times, by dynamic options that you're giving them maybe 2 or 3 different options with different price points. It's just like walking into FedEx and looking at ground versus overnight, right? What a lot of shops struggle with or are concerned by is this idea of not being fair to the customer, right? Oh, they just need it in a pinch. Why should I take advantage of that situation? What we do, and there's another question that's going to come up with that, is what we try to tell shops is it's a different environment, a different world. I'm sure everyone's seen that. Folks are looking at value, not necessarily based on the lowest cost, but how they can get it faster. What's the reliability of that? What's quality, right? We never want shops to compete on the lowest price. We want them to compete on speed and compete on quality. And so this just gives your shop a different option here. So you can see I have maybe my standard lead time is 40 days, 5 days faster. Maybe I'll offer that 5 days faster for a 25% markup, 20 days faster, 100% markup. And we get into that question of, can I actually make it 20 days faster? But we can talk through that. The idea is they may not even have asked for that, but you're giving them that option, and now you're not having to compete on maybe a certain price or a certain lead time. You can compete on both, right? What that looks like to your customer is, this is our digital quote. This is what the company can, your customers can see. They can actually check out, again, via this digital quote or maybe by the PDF version of this, and they can select from a variety of different quantity breaks as well as lead times. So for example, if you are looking at this as the buyer and you're saying, okay, I can get 100 of these at 22 days, this is my unit price, but actually my budget's maybe 250. I'll pay the 5 days faster to get this faster, right? So you can see the difference in this capturing additional margin for your shop. And we see some shops where 10% of their business is now coming from expedites. They actually have increased their lead time just so they can offer this Disneyland Fast Pass, right? It's exactly the same logic here. Maybe shops, maybe you have a dedicated machine just for this 5-day lead time, right? If you can fill your machines with double the profit margin type work, that allows you to invest in your business, allows you to invest in hiring more. It's exactly the point of offering this. So again, it's maximizing your machines, maximizing your resources there, and giving your customers the option, because that's customer service. I do have another question there. And if anyone has a Q&A, please throw it in the chat. But Ali, if you want to throw that next question, I'm curious on what folks think about charging more for expedites. You can see the poll results from question number 1. We have 36% of folks say they proactively update pricing options often. 18% say never. And 45% say not often. So the majority of the folks on the call are offering it at least somewhat, right? Again, it's just another way to compete. So let's talk about dynamic pricing or different aggressive or defensive strategies. So if we go back to that same quote, there is pricing, right? We talked through that. There's also some things that we just released over the last few months allow you to get even more offensive or defensive. One of those is discounts. So you walk into a shop, there's a big 50%, everything must go. It's a marketing technique that allows that buyer, that shop, to try to lure you in, right? And we've all done it. Maybe it's month end and you're trying to get parts, you're trying to fill a certain machine. You offer an end of month discount. This is just one way to create rules for that, as well as being able to market your shop in a little bit better way. So maybe I have a new customer discount. What that looks like on the quote is I'll have a nice green button, new customer discount 10%. If I click that 25 days, 25 quantity, 17-day lead time, you can see how the pricing changed. That gives me the warm and fuzzy as I'm trying to buy this. There's also some cool things around maybe a VIP customer, right? You're giving that same 10% discount, but you're now trying to keep those VIP customers, those repeat customers happy. Maybe there's end of quarter discount. So I'm looking at my analytics tab and I'm looking at sort of the outstanding quotes and my win rate for those outstanding quotes on a certain type of process. And I'm realizing I need to get some extra work in. So maybe what I'll do is I'll have an offensive approach where I'll offer an extra 5% discount there and the quote expires by the 31st of this month, if you can issue that PO. So again, it's another way to sort of come through that. Add-ons, we hear this a lot, right? Some shops, they throw in add-ons amortized into the quote because they don't want to get nickel and dimed, right? Oh, why is my NRE charge $600? Some shops like to throw that outside of the quote as a call out. So that way, when the customer comes back and says, why is this so expensive? Or why is it this price? You can see that $600 is driving that NRE and it's required. Maybe you can throw articles as a separate line item, make that not required, right? So you're giving your customers different a la carte options. And what that looks like on the quote, if I go back to the same one, I can see required NRE. Okay, when I click that, I can also see articles. That's optional. Maybe I'll click that, maybe I won't. It gives me the option. You can do this, and we kind of talked through different strategies here. You can do this pretty creatively, where maybe it's all these pricing rules, all these pricing logics are dependent on the particular process, particular customer, particular quantity. What we're trying to do is create these rules that allow you to consistently and accurately get pricing back to the customer without losing your shirt or without thinking of something. And so this allows folks to, for management, to feel really comfortable with the quotes that are coming out the door, and allow it to be dynamically updated based on the particular situation. I think we have a third question, and that third question is how, and Ali, if you want to throw that out there, are you more likely to use dynamic pricing options now that you know how? If we go back to that second poll, thank you guys for responding. Folks, the question was, do you feel confident or do you feel hesitant to charge more for expedited orders? 35% said not at all, right? And so that sort of mirrors what we're trying to say here at Paperless Parts, is a lot of folks don't think about this as you nickel and diming them. They think about this as a way to offer folks different options to meet the required needs, right? To meet their value. 47% not really, 6% said somewhat, 12% said yes about feeling hesitant to charge it. So for those that said yes or somewhat, you guys are 18% of the total responses there. So 47% said not really, and 35% not at all. So something to consider as you guys go back to the shop, right? A lot of folks are doing things like this. And poll question number 3 answer is, are you more likely to use dynamic pricing options now that you know how? 63% said yes. Awesome, thank you guys. Hopefully I wasn't just spitballing over here and all of you guys disagreed. So 6% said no, still not convinced it will work. That was one person. So that one person, feel free to message me and we can riff about it a little bit more. 25% I said I already do this. And one person said I'm not a customer yet. So again, we'll talk, right? So let's go into Q&A here. Obviously, guys, if you have any questions, anything what I talked about, please feel free to respond. Feel free to ask in the chat here. Jesse, I saw your note here. Is this discount feature in upcoming service that's not available on my system? So this is something that we can set up for you. Folks who are customers, if you guys don't see any of this on your platform, this is a feature that we have released and we can turn it on. So just reach out to your customer success manager or to support@paperlessparts.com, and we can get that up and running for you, no problem. Great question, Brian. Do you have different FAI charges based on who the customer is? You certainly can, right? Everything in Paperless Parts is a variable that you can reference. So just like customer-specific pricing, you can reference if customer equals Boeing. We're picking on Boeing today. If customer equals Boeing, maybe there's a different add-on charge, right? That could also, again, be driven by complexity, the total time on the part, the size of the order, etc. Thanks for asking that. Oh, awesome. I'm loving the questions, guys. Thank you. David asked, do these need to be added by Paperless Parts, or is this something we can put in and update on our own? We're in implementation stage currently. So one, thank you guys for choosing Paperless Parts. We're excited to have you up and running. You can do this by yourself, or you can ask our implementation team to do it. We have whizzes on our team that can, do this in seconds. We have whizzes at our shops that can also do this in seconds. If you go to your configures tab and go to pricing, this allows you to create these variable rules, right? You can add them. You can see I have a whole bunch of different stuff. Some automatically pop in, some don't. Discounts, you can again add those in. If you want to make them a little bit more complex, obviously there's rules on how you can do that. You can also reach out to us at support@paperlessparts.com. Thanks, David. James, great question here. So would automatically identify a new customer to apply a new customer discount? So the answer is it depends. It depends on integration, depends on if you have marked a certain customer as new or not. What I would say is a lot of shops will mark that as, will automatically pull that in. And so if they know it's a new customer, they want to win this, they haven't seen any work before, they'll throw it in there. There's some cheeky ways to automatically do that, but I would say the majority of the shops that I've seen are just throwing that in there. Thanks, James. Great question. All right. So it looks like those are sort of the questions that I saw there. If there's any more, I can certainly stick around. Ali, if you see any, let me know. But I do want to make a plug while these last minute questions are coming in. If you guys want to watch any of these Power Lunch series, again, these are bite-sized chunks of certain features in the platform. Go to Paperless Parts /Power Lunch series with Paperless Parts, or just go to our website and find it. You can see it under resources. This gives you some great, again, different options. One of the next ones we have in a couple of weeks is how to drive accuracy and efficiency when quoting with prints. So Meg on our team, who is our customer education and enablement manager, she's going to be going through prints and how you can drive, again, accuracy, consistency, speed using prints. That is going to be February 9th at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to, for that one customer who's not a customer yet, you can reach out to us at paperlessparts.com/demo to see a little bit more. Go to our website. You can also reach out to me directly. Would love to be connected on LinkedIn. You can see that down there, or my email address is Saliba@paperlessparts.com. Ali, you have any questions?
I don't see any in my end.
Okay. 5 questions. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So thank you guys. Really appreciate the time. Hopefully this was useful and you learned a thing or two. I can stick around for a little bit if you guys have anything. Otherwise, thank you very much and have a great day.